It's like us squatting 1,000 pounds. That ain't about health and fitness, right? Benching 800 pounds. There's just nothing healthy about holding 800 pounds over your face.
I think last time we saw you, you like did some sort of weird voodoo magic on Nsima over here. Yeah. I think you might have just like believed that he could move his hip better, and then he was able to move his hip better. Since that time, we've had more and more people come on our show and talk about the power of belief. Like we've had people talk about rehab. We've had people talk about like rehabbing off of drugs and rehabbing off of injuries, and then also kind of referring back to, it's about believing in yourself, and it's about believing that you can get out of back pain and these different beliefs. How big have you seen that come into play with some of the theories and some of the things you're helping people with? Because I know you do a great job of, many things at your facility, but one of them being to help people and assist people get out of pain.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is life. It comes down to the behaviors that you're building, and whether it's losing weight, getting out of lower back pain. And part of that is there's a awareness, what I call a conscious nervous system, and then there's the unconscious nervous system. And so the conscious nervous system is just your awareness or knowledge of how to do something. Your unconscious nervous system is your ability to execute. And so when people are working on different, whether it's diet or pain, what happens is that one person gets told a piece of information and they just implement and go and crush. The next person comes along and they're told that piece of information, doesn't matter, they can't make it happen. And I think in our world, everybody goes, oh, they don't want it bad enough, they're not motivated enough. No, the problem is the way modern medicine views things, psychology, all these pieces, is they do not address the unconscious nervous system, their ability to execute. If they did, if they were changed, because there's two sides of that equation and everyone's just focused on this conscious nervous system. So like one of the great things you guys do, but like through exercise, through being healthy, sleep, there's something called your global neurological sequence, and GNS for short. But the GNS, the more optimized it is, the bigger your unconscious nervous system's ability to execute. And so the GNS is affected: sleep, nutrition, right, fitness, all these pieces. And so that's a big thing that we work on at the Spot Athletics, is that when people come in, we have a pyramid of physical fitness. And that pyramid of physical fitness starts with breathing, then sleep, then mindset, then nutrition. So we have four layers of that base of that pyramid before we even get to training. Once we get to training, we get to flexibility, because if you can't get in positions you need to every day in life, whether it's sport or whether it's just bending down to pick up a laundry basket, you're going to get hurt, you're going to have pain. So it's flexibility, strength, and then endurance. And that endurance part, or conditioning, however you want to talk about it, that's the tip of the pyramid. It's the easiest to build, right? Everyone can go for a walk. Everybody can go, a jog or a bike ride. It's funny that, what I always say is, in the fitness industry, I call it junk food fitness, because basically everybody takes that pyramid and flips it upside down. They focus on the conditioning, the endurance, this. They do a little strength, probably not much flexibility, and then maybe they look at nutrition. Well, now what about mindset? What about sleep? What about breathing? Like that stuff comes last. That stuff comes first. That's the base of the pyramid. And so when I look at, say a healthy diet, right? Fruits and vegetables, we all know you need them. You got meat and potatoes, we got dessert or junk food. So my son's 7. If I let him just eat junk food, you got kids, they would eat junk food. Why would they eat junk food? Well, because there's a hormonal release from eating it, and it tastes good. Well, why do people go do the crush you workout, endurance workout? Because there's a hormonal release and you feel like you did something. So when someone walks into the spot, just like my son's 7, if I don't care about him, I let him eat junk food. What do? I educate him, right? You got to eat something healthy first before we have to, right? Because I love him and I want him to understand the consequences of that. So when someone walks into the spot, we treat them the same way. So we don't, I don't want to say, a lot of people in fitness, that person walks, I just want to get across to this. And they just hand them junk food and let them go. But to us, that we call it PFB work. And that's pain-free body work. So it's flexibility, stability, control. We're going to start every workout with that. That's your fruits and your vegetables, right? So we say to people, you pay us because we're going to make you eat your fruits and vegetables in fitness. Then that meat potatoes, that's your strength work. And then of course, are we going to add some dessert in? That stuff that, you know, that hard conditioning that makes you, of course, right? Because that's part of a healthy diet, whether it's fitness diet, right? Or the actual food you eat. And that's, to me, that's where I think, you know, we're really missing in fitness. If what we did as an industry, I'm talking, because there's obviously people, you guys interview people all the time, they're doing amazing work, right? So sometimes I use like but as a whole, we're failing in fitness because, like I tell you, when someone's like, oh, I've always failed at fitness. No, I hate to tell you, but fitness has kind of failed you, because the way that we do it, if it worked, then everybody'd be fit, right? Like, but we're more obese than ever. So obviously something we're doing is broken. And to me, it comes down to flipping that pyramid upside down and where we put our values in that pyramid.
That's huge, because you know, the junk food fitness, because people in the fitness world, I'll say that they'll shame the average everyday person for eating junk food, and like, why don't they just stop? They can just get healthy. But yet, I injured myself again because of the junk food fitness. That's pretty freaking incredible, and that's very eye-opening in my opinion, because I do a lot of junk food fitness. Well, I did a lot of junk food fitness in my day. So what's a sign that you're getting too much junk food in your fitness?
Well, so to me, when you look at your training, I went over this with House. So I have this programming optimization system that I've created. And part of that is looking at what's your goals, right? So if I'm going to run an ultra marathon, well, God, I mean, now it's not about health and fitness, right? It's like us squatting 1,000 pounds. That ain't about health and fitness, right? Benching 800 pounds. There's just nothing healthy about holding 800 pounds over your face.
Hey, I know you're enjoying this episode, but listen up. We've partnered with Merrick Health. They're a telehealth network owned by Derek for more plates, more dates. But literally, the amazing thing about Merrick Health and getting your labs done with them is that when you get your labs done, you work with a client care coordinator that goes over your labs and gives you specific supplementation or nutrition protocols or potentially hormonal protocols for your levels. The problem with a lot of these other telehealth networks is that when they do these things, they give everybody the same exact things, which actually can hurt you long-term more than help you. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, that's over at MarrickHealth.com. That's MAREK Health.com. And if you already know what labs you want to get at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off all of those labs. If you don't know where to start, head over to MarrickHealth.com/PowerProject. And you guys will get directed straight to the Power Project panel that has 26 different labs that will cover everything you need. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save $101 off of that panel. Again, MarrickHealth.com, links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
But right, like that's not the goal. That's not we're not talking about and that's where people, they use these extremes and like, well, this and that. Yeah, that is a performance goal. That's different than the 99.9% of the people in the world. And so for me, you look at your training and you say, the way my programming optimization system, it's really simple. So in my training, I've got every single thing you do in your training falls into 3 categories: PFB, pain-free body work; LBN, look better naked, it's your conditioning; and SFL, strength for life. Unless you're a performance athlete, right? Then we're different, 2 different categories. And so to me, look at your training. How much of that am I spending in PFB work? Well, if I'm hurt, because I have this conversation with clients that come in all the time, and it's, oh, I just want to get lean. I want to get, of course, if I was to take, so at the spot, like we have a 20,000 square foot facility. Like we deal with a lot of people. We start with people at 8 years old. And so kind of our thing is a long-term athletic development model. We want an 8-year-old kid. We want the Spot Athletics to be the first place an 8-year-old kid trains. Learning how to move, learning to value their body, their health. We also want it to be the last place an 85-year-old person trains. And we want to be able to take them through that. And so what's cool is we've been open now 10 years, and we have kids that started training with us in high school, left for college, are now back as young professionals training with us. And actually we have a kid, probably one of the coolest, we have a kid who's training with us now, and it's the 3rd generation of their family that we've trained. So yeah, his grandpa was one of the first guys I trained, and he wasn't a grandpa obviously back then, like his kids were middle school, but then the kids became young adults. So it's like the grandpa trained with us, the kids trained with us. Now this is the 3rd generation in that family. Like that, for us, that is the ideal, right? Their whole family values fitness. Their whole family understands. And so to me, when you're looking at how do I know, it's no different than looking at your diet, right? So everyone's like macros, this and that, right? Like, okay, so in a meal, this part of my plate was fruits and vegetables. This part of my plate was meat and potatoes, and this part was dessert. And so when you look at your training, it's easy to go PFB, LBN, SFL, classify it, right? And so if I'm resting in between sets and doing, right, that's strength work. If I'm not doing any resting, right, then now we're conditioning. But so you just look at, I worked out for an hour, 90 minutes, whatever it was. Just look at what you did. You can put them in a category and go, oh man, my body hurts, but 90% of my training was LBN and I did 10% SFL and 0 PFB. And so I have this conversation when they walk in all the time. I say, what's your goals? Everybody, lose weight, tone up for adults, right? So I say, okay, I get that looking great. So what I say is it'd be like this, like Nsima, okay. I get that looking great is your goal. So tell me this. If you look the best you ever looked, right? And obviously you're in good shape, but like you were shredded, you're like blessing, right? Like, so you're just the best you've ever looked in your life. I mean, you've never looked better. Walking down the street, people are just like, oh my God, you look so amazing. But your knees and back hurt so bad you could barely stand. Would that be okay?
No.
Okay, so it sounds to me like your number one goal is to feel good, and number two, close behind it, is to look good. And that's the conversation I have with people all the time. Like, they think it's to look good, but no one wants to feel like shit. But I don't say it. Most people don't approach their training that way. And most of what is done in fitness doesn't approach people that way either. Because again, it's junk food fitness. They come in, they want candy, and they go, I need to make money. Here's some candy. And to us, I'll tell you this, it's a lot harder to make a living doing it the way we do it. Because at the Spot Athletics, like we have to be really careful. We can't do marketing where it's like, like 6-week booty challenge, and we can't do any of that because that's not our beliefs. And even to the point, the way we do things at the Spot is, like I said, we're private. So everybody who joins the Spot has to do a training tryout. And what that is you come in and we just tell everybody, like, hey, we're private. At the Spot Athletics, we do things different. And because we do them differently, like, we're not for everyone. And we tell them right up front, we go, look, if you want to be sore after every workout and just exhausted, we're not the place. You need to go somewhere else. However, if you want long-term sustainable results, you're going to love what we do. And then, like, oh yeah, man, I want a year of training, right? Awesome, right? We'll obviously sign you up for that. But just know the first session you come in, it's your training trial. So everyone has to be there. They need to work hard. Right? Like, I got work hard tattooed on my arms, right? Like, it's a pretty integral part of my philosophy in life. But my thing too is work hard, train smarter, right? I mean, it's not just hard, it's gotta be smart. So they come in, and if they wanna work hard, if they're coachable and they're a good fit for our culture, then awesome, we'd love to have you in our program. If those three things aren't true, then we go, hey, we're gonna refund your money, less the cost of the training tryout, and we hope we find something that fits for who you are. And they'll find something that fits for who they are. And a lot of people, they're so wrapped up in like, if I don't get crushed in this workout, it wasn't worth anything. Well, you walk all, right? So is that crazy hard? But what kind of difference does that make in your fitness and your health, right? Consistency beats intensity every single day. And that's just not how I think general fit, like you talked about. Like, I did a lot of that junk food fitness because it does. Like, it feels good to work hard in those things, but it's got to be planned.
Hey, wait, before you go, you got this far. That means that you've enjoyed the heat that we're continuing to bring you. So listen, like the video, comment something down below. We'll reply back, and subscribe to the channel because we continue to bring you the heat. Seriously, do it. Love you. Bye.